Wait for it. You guys are the best. I love you. I love you. I love the both of you. Alright, okay guys. Good day, hi and welcome. Alright, so I'm done my little tree job. And hopefully there's some okay footage. I can't really film much when I'm on the job, right? But I thought I'd get these two little things. So I used both saws today. I did some high wire act on the ladder. I had to go cut a branch. I didn't film that part of it. I just didn't want the YouTube. I don't want to influence people to do stuff like that. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the golden rule. Okay. So I did it as safely as I could. We'll just put it to you that way. But it's you would cringe. You'd cringe. There's tons of videos of people it going wrong because it is a tricky cut to do that. But I tried the tree prod up in the tree, nice and light to climb with. There's no problem there. But somebody dulled my chain. I don't know who it was. I don't know if they, try to take out a stump. The second day owning the chainsaw, second day working with the chainsaw, try to take out a stump that was in the ground around rocks and stuff like that. I don't know if they did that like 4 or 5 times, right? And what I would tell that person is, okay, if you have an extra 2 chains, put that other chain on and sharpen that chain up and use it as your Murphy chain. That's what I'd tell that person. That's what I tell them, whenever I find out who it was. There we go. Taking the doggy for a walk. Yeah, so I wonder if he's still working or if he's all done for the season. All of us guys are kind of like, like rushing around this time of year for the last. Okay, guys, I'm driving as slow as I can. I gotta watch out for people behind me. But there's a tree right up here, and I've already got most of it. It's hard to see, but it looks like a Charlie Brown tree. That one right there. You're next, buddy. You're next. That thing's like a corkscrew though. That's why I left it like that. And then I got 2 back there to cut. I don't know if we'll get that done this season. But anyway, that friggin' 400, guys, it feels like I'm using my MS260. It really does. Yeah, it is a little bit heavier. I know it is a little bit heavier. A little bit of a crazy driving warble around here, so I gotta watch. Good tractor trip. You stay on your side of the road, man. Dodging each other. That's Quebec. You gotta dodge. Pick a lane is just a suggestion. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, no, I did a plunge cut, 2 plunge cuts with the big saw today. Nice and balanced. Went in straight. Mind you, it wasn't a big tree, but it just that saw I think is gonna be really good for plunge cutting. It's fast. Holy Jesus, fast. I kind of overnotched my tree, like really overnotched my tree. You guys would have laughed at that. I'm like, okay, I just gotta do a small little notch here. Holy jeez, that's too much. I was a little bit nervous doing the face plunge on the face cut because I thought this could pinch my saw pretty bad if but I had a second saw there, rescue saw there, but I really didn't want to do that because that would be embarrassing. But I thought, well, okay, I'll chance it. There should be enough meat there, and there was. But you could tell the tree was starting to lean already as soon as I did that plunge. So then you saw when I put the wedge in, it was like 3 or 4 smacks, and bang, there it was down. It didn't even wait for me to do the nice trim cut that I was going to do. You guys are going to see like this really pretty, fancy, technical tree falling technique, and the tree just decided to give up on me. Like 3 smacks on the wedge is like, nah. But that also tells you how dry that tree was too, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be careful of that stuff. When I plunged into it, it's like, okay, well, the core wasn't too bad, the small tree, because I was worried about it being rotten in the center, and then have the tree like just crumble on you when you're plunging into it, right? But a leaner like that is a really safe way to fall them though. I mean, you can see like the saw is off, it's out of the way. It's a lot easier to run with a hatchet or a hammer in your hand than it is a saw, right? So So at least if you did trip, you're less likely to kill yourself, cut yourself in half. So yeah, I'm going to use that method on the smaller trees. It works really, really dandy. And especially for the leaners. I'm like, wow, that's, I got that tip from the New Brunswick Forest Management site. They had a video on it, and I was like, I was going to do it that way. I was even going to do like a fancy squiz wheel cut today, and I started thinking about it. I was like, that's over. You know, it's just put the damn tree on the ground. I knew it was going to hang up in the other. I wasn't worried about it hanging up in those further branches because the tree would have enough lean on it. I could roll it off of it or cut it off of it the way I did. What I was worried about it getting hung up in the tree beside it, trying to follow it the other way, and not having enough lean where it's stuck on the stump. Once you got a tree stuck on a stump, man, you can't just leave it like that, right? And because it is dangerous, right? But you can't push it down because it's stuck on the stump and it just springs off the top of the tree it's stuck in, right? Spruce trees are the worst for this. But if you can get enough lean on it, then you know it's going to come down. Yeah, he's got his Christmas tree. Yeah, there you go. Getting it. Those needles are going to be completely off that tree by the time, like, dude, it's like halfway through November. Like, there's going to be no. You're going to have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree if you cut it this early. Anyway. But yeah, no, the saws, except for the fact that the chain was, whoever did it, the tree piranha, the 162 there, his chain was really, and I saw it as soon as I, did it, or whoever did it last time and dulled the chain digging out that stump, cutting out that stump. They didn't get the stump out. I'm sure they got the stump out. That I'm sure of. Don't ask me how I know. But anyway, no, I started cutting the upper branch that was just hanging there with the 162, which would have had no problem. It made it about halfway through the branch, and it was like, you could tell, like, okay, no, that chain's too dull to cut the rest, so I'm not going to hurt a brand new saw just for that, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to go down and change the chain and all that, or sharpen, just for like not even a half cut. I just cranked the 400. That thing starts so nice. It's a bit cooler today, but not too bad. So I climbed the tree with the 400, which wasn't bad. It's heavy, but like, it's heavy for tree climbing. I don't recommend climbing trees with big saws, right? But somehow I find myself hanging out of trees with 72cc saws and stuff like that, and the 67. But if I have to choose between the 372, the Husky 372, which weighs like 22 to 25 pounds with an 18-inch bar, and 16.5 pounds with a 20-inch bar on the 400, I'll take the 400. But that also got me thinking, guys, about my saw selection. I may only need a 3 saw selection. One more, like, ginormous saw, and I might buy a second little, like, tiny saw. Like, all the saws in between the 400 and the 162, I'm not interested in at all, except for the 261. But I don't need the 261 if I have the 400. But what would have been nice on the 400 today, just as a, if you have to go up a tree with a big saw, would have been a 16-inch bar instead of the 20. Right? Which is the smallest bar I could put on it. That would be so fast. Like, that 20-inch bar is pretty fast. Like, it doesn't seem to be like, you can't really wail on it like a big saw, but like, I don't feel that prying on that saw, I could pry any harder on the 372. And I've cut lots with the 272s and the 372s for big saws. Not a lot, but enough big stuff like oak and stuff like that with them to know, or really, really, really thick pines to know how much you can pull on the saw. If you know what I mean by pull on the saw, this one you can pull on it pretty good, but it's this thing, that 400, it feels like a race car. It accelerates like a race car. Like, it's just really fast. And it's pretty fast in the wood. Now, mind you, this was softer wood, but the branch was, that's a hardwood. It's what kind of tree was that? It is a, but anyway, It's a hardwood. It'd be equivalent to like a soft maple. So not rock maple, but soft maple. The tip of the bar went through that, like, I had to watch I didn't go into the ground. I might have nicked the ground today once with the bar, but I could see that I could probably, for this saw, get a 16-inch bar, so when I do have to climb a ladder or something, I don't have this big honking 20-inch bar on there. And then when I'm standing up and bucking,